All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm Scott Oots. Today, we are going to talk to Mark. Mark is actually in Los Angeles. He is doing deals over in Indiana, known as virtual wholesaling. Mark, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good. Thanks for joining us today. Like we talked offline a little bit, man. This is your time. This is to see what we can do to get you from here to here. And so first, let's dive right in because I'm all about just jumping into the deep end. So, tell me about yourself, your business, what you've done so far, and most importantly, where you want to go.
Perfect, perfect. My name is Mark. I've been investing for the last year and a half. I live in LA. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to start investing here if you don't have a lot of capital. I mean, in reality, $500,000 here doesn't really get you too much. So I had to look elsewhere. So where I found was out of state in the Midwest really made sense with how much things cost. I mean, in my market in Indianapolis, Indiana specifically, there's properties that are worth $50,000 or less. That I mean, once you rehab it for like 10 or 20,000, you're all in at 70. You can rent out that unit for around 800 to even $1,000 if you really got a good deal. That market is more targeted towards cash flow, and kind of that Burr model. So I mean, currently right now I have 12 rentals, and then uh, I uh, I was fortunate enough to get my first two deals on the market, and they were great deals. But I moved on to a model where I couldn't really work with investor friendly agents a lot because they're trying to help out all these other investors. You know what I mean? So how do I as like a investor out of state get that top of the list or get the first dibs of that sweet deal? Because if I'm working with these agents that are investors, I mean, they're going to get the best deals themselves, and then they're going to pass on all the other deals that don't make sense to them. So I took like action on myself to learn about how to market for my own deals. So which led me into wholesaling. Um, I I uh, I tried that over here in LA, didn't really work. Tried to do the cold calling myself, and I was like, nah. I mean, I need a team. At this point, I learned about virtual wholesaling, and then that led me into VAs. And then it opened me to the world of wow, like if you can get a team together and understand how you could break it down, you could really get your business to move to the next level. So I took it a step forward. During COVID, I'm Filipino, that's my ethnicity, but I was born and raised in LA. Majority of my cousins that live in the Philippines lost their jobs, and then it was unfortunate. I mean, just like all of us. And then uh, I was like this virtual assistant thing with cold callers. I mean, majority of them are in the Philippines. Majority of them. I mean, so I just put one and one together, and I was like, hey, let's jump on Zoom. They didn't know anything about real estate. I mean, to tell you the truth, if like for a person in the Philippines, if they don't have money and they don't work for like this agency about real estate, there's no reason why you'd even learn about real estate, right? So we hopped on Zoom every single day. We started like kind of getting together around May of 2020, and then now I've actually generated a team that is like self-sufficient. Like I have like a lead manager, I have a operations manager, I have about 10 callers, and then basically it goes from one step to another. Um, from the cold call to the acquisition manager. They assess the deal, they underwrite the deal, and I created my boots on the ground in Indiana with a partnership with a realtor, which gives us access to the MLS and gives access to basically my cousins are the ones that are like really the management team, and then from there the cold callers are hired we hired within. Um, which is crazy is that I took it to the next step, because I was like, hey, like me wholesaling and me, like we're all there's a lot of competition. We're all wholesaling, right? So I was like, maybe this model we can actually turn it into a business. So I told my cousins, I was like, hey, let's get this training structure down on how to have each position, like kind of SOPs on each position, and then from there actually build a model where we can actually give to other investors. So now fast forward, I actually have a agency or virtual assistant company now. It's called Scale and Grow. So now we actually have cold callers, we have text messengers, and we also skip trace as well. So I kind of like got this whole idea from like that simple concept where how do I actually access deals on my own? And I leveraged my network and in my family basically. And now like there's so many people that are applying for my company. I mean, obviously I don't want to take on everyone, because obviously not everyone fits what I'm looking for. I like what I'm looking for is this very specific person that understands like, hey, it's not going to be easy, but if you work hard and understand what it takes, you'll make money. Because uh, my team is based on commission. I mean, like, and I mean that's how they get motivated. And the thing is, they have to align with my goals. And then if they do, which is like really growth and understanding, like it's not about just doing your job. It's about like the bigger picture. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right. So how many? You said you have 12 rentals. How many wholesale deals did you do last year?
Last year we did about 15.
15. Okay. And were any so 15 plus the you got the 12 rentals last year as well?
Yeah.
All right. So something you said stands out to me is you said that, realtors, if they're out there getting the deals, they're giving you kind of the leftovers, right? But in essence, that's what you're doing too, because you are keeping the best ones yourself for rentals and then you're wholesaling the rest. So, I mean, that is going to be a standard business model for all of us, because you're not going to keep the worst ones for yourself and give the best ones to someone else. It would be stupid. So yeah, I mean, we're all doing that. However, when you've got realtors out there getting deals and bringing you deals, I mean, just because the deal doesn't work for them doesn't mean it won't work for you, right? So on your rentals, so you did put rehab into your rentals and then throw a renter in? Is that your process?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you doing creative deals?
One of the deals that I got was a 5-house deal. It was on seller finance. Basically, the purchase price was 200,000, and then they were all being rented. The monthly income coming in from the 5 rentals was 3,700. And then once the seller finance was 10% down, which was 20,000 to get into the deal. And then he held a note for me for 6 months at a 6% interest each month that I would pay him. And then after I got the deal, I got it. I found a lender that did a portfolio, like basically a loan, and then I was able to get the houses appraised at 300,000. So at that point, I was able to get a cash out of around 225, because it's like around 80% LTV. So I was able to pay back the seller whatever I needed to pay him, and then now my monthly mortgage is around 1,100.
Wow, not bad at all. Very good. All right. So ultimately, what is your overall goal? What's your 2021 goal? And then where do you want to get to?
Essentially, I really want to, as a number wise, I want to get to 50 doors for 2021. I feel like accomplishing with the lead generation, talking to these people with portfolios. I mean, it'll be, and the seller financing strategy. It'll be a great way to achieve that. Because I mean, if you do this in a more traditional aspect, buying one rental at a time, getting refied out, I mean, it's gonna take a long time. But accessing direct to seller, and really trying to talk to them and see where they're at. I mean, sometimes they have a portfolio of 20, 30, even 50 properties all at one time that they just want to let go at once, but in a traditional kind of aspect in the market, you can't it's hard to do like a 50 house deal, you know what I mean? So I feel like this year is gonna be our year, but I'm still building. I mean, obviously, I still have a lot to learn, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely and I the bigger picture is I'm slowly creating more content for myself to like pass out to other people and to really share along with them. Like, I mean, anyone can do this. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have a lot of money, but just like really the willingness to learn and to understand how it works, because that's the most important thing here. It's just there's so many moving parts, and you just have to understand how it works.
Agreed. Yeah, that's very true. So if you're going to try to get to 50 doors, are you also going to have a wholesale goal for this year as well?
Yeah, my goal is probably wholesale five properties a month. I mean, it's very reasonable, very manageable. My main goal is to build a portfolio before like the wholesale, because I'm more of I wear multiple hats, but the last hat that I actually wear is an investor. So if it made more sense to get the deal, I would actually get the deal compared to wholesaler.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. So you're going basically for residual income. Ultimately, what's your exit plan? Do you have an exit plan as far as, how many doors you want to get? Are you going to retire? Are you going to? What is your goal?
I think my goal is to be able to give people opportunity. In many cases, like my company in the Philippines, I'm really opening it up to more people that need jobs and being able to give them a chance to make a living. You know what I mean? And not only that, my team in Indiana, I'm building my contracting side. Um, they're actually we're trying to expand to maybe 5 to 10 projects a year. So at that point, we're gonna have to hire more people. So it's really growing the business and giving more, like reaching out to more people, but also understanding like to grow it the right way too. So there's a lot of like learning in between though.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like, being a year and a half into the business, you're off to a killer start. I mean, you're doing a really good job. And usually it's the opposite, right? People start with the wholesale side, then they start jumping into the rental side. But I like the way you're doing it because you're building that residual income as you go. So you're not just creating a deal that comes and goes, you collect a check. You're creating a deal that you're collecting a check every single month forever. And then you also have your paid off asset in the end. So, I mean, that's the thing I think a lot of people don't understand about the power of like seller financing, any type of creative deal, is you've got the ability to make money every single month. And then you've also, when you're done, you've got a house that's paid off. So you've got a double hit there. You've got the ability to collect, and in the end, if you want to sell the house, refinance the house, whatever it is you want to do, that's potentially a cash cow forever. And that's a really, really good direction that you're doing. And it's good you're doing it with VAs. Are you doing any other marketing, or is it typically just cold call text?
Cold call, text, and SEOs as well.
All right. Are you doing SEO and PPC, so Google AdWords and stuff as well, or just SEO?
Right now, we're exploring SEOs, but we're gonna dive deeper into that more. But I've been really focusing on like building the structure of like the virtual assistant company. As soon as that really gets like walking on its own, then I'll really look into the different other marketing strategies.
Are you the closer, or do you have VAs that close?
I have an acquisition manager, which is my cousin specifically. So her and me work hand in hand. Whenever a deal comes in, she underwrites the deal, and then from there, that underwrite gets passed on to me or emails to me. I review it. I check it off, or I have to adjust a couple of things. Then it goes back to her. Then she actually places the offer. So me, I'm not really in the picture anymore in means of speaking with the actual seller.
Okay. And she's not stateside. You said she's in the Philippines, right?
Philippines, correct.
Great. Wow, that saves you a lot of money. So that saves you a lot. Yeah, that's having acquisitions stateside is very expensive. So having people over in the Philippines doing acquisitions, I mean, is absolutely, I mean, whew.
It's cool because whatever I'm teaching her, she's actually putting it in a lesson plan. So we're gonna try to replicate who she is in like multiple markets. I mean, how she's doing amazing. I mean, she's learning also at the same time because I'm telling her, all right, change this number, change this, and at that point, she's just writing all the notes down and trying to I told everyone in the company, if you know how to replicate yourself, that's how we're gonna expand and scale. So that's our next kind of move there.
So you kind of have a family business here.
Exactly. I like to the family is actually the management team because that's who's really I'm training with all the knowledge. At that point, they can really delegate more of the tasks that's not really that important or really intensive of like the data or the information onto other people. So that's how my business is kind of moving.
So it's all good until you have a problem with your family, and then you've got to then you've got to discipline or let someone go, and then it gets weird. So
I mean, we're not at that stage. So hopefully, I mean, again, they're very fortunate. They look at this as an opportunity because they can just be out without a job. So at any point, whenever I say something, they need to listen because we can just shut down, and I mean nobody has jobs at that point. So they're very thankful. So
I guess the positive you have is, I've known a lot of guys that have hired family that lives 10 minutes from them. And then when stuff goes south, Thanksgiving and Christmas is really awkward. At least for you, they're not flying back and forth all the time. So if something does go wrong, they have some time to cool down before they have to come and open presents at Christmas time. So that's a positive, I guess. So, all right. So you've got a lot going on. I mean, it's very impressive. You've done very, very good. So what is it that you're stuck on, you need help with? What is it that will help you get to the next level?
I'll tell you the truth. I mean, I've been following you and then following your journey. I think your marketing is on point. I feel like my social media game and my that aspect has been very on the weaker side, and because my focus is actually the business. And I know that there's other aspects in social media where I can expand in and really let people know that about my business. Like, cause how I saw it was I provide with my virtual assistants, I provided tools for investors. And the thing is, some of these investors, they only know about one or two or three different outlets in order to help them scale their business. So I wanted to give that, like, do a transition where me focusing on the business and actually marketing the business. So I guess a marketing aspect of what I'm trying to create.
What you're trying to create more on the social media side?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I mean, obviously that takes time. And honestly, the thing is too, is as you grow your business, you start getting to the point where it's like your business is here, you start working your way away from it, and then you expand, and then all of a sudden you're doing this again, and then you work your way away, and then you expand again. And that's the thing, like for me, I like my business, right? I love spending time on the business. Now, there's a big difference between on and in. So there are a lot of times where I am in the business, and part of it is because we have grown so fast, so quick, that it almost creates, you get to the point where you need a new employee, but it's almost too late. So you have to be able to step into any role necessary to be able to get that business to the next level, because it takes a while I could go get a new employee in the office tomorrow, but is that the right employee? Did I take my time to hire to make sure that that employee fits with the vision of the company, is willing to learn, is willing to grow? Then you've got to train. Then you've got to let the person on their own. Then they fail a little bit. You got to train them again, and then they fail a bit, and you got to train them again, and then pretty soon you've got a great employee. but you will find yourself dipping in and out of the business a lot. And as you decide to start stepping out, this studio we set up here, Cody behind the scenes has spent a lot of time building this, doing this. But Cody has to literally drag me into this room because I enjoy helping people grow. That's a huge passion of mine, but I also enjoy seeing my business grow. So I have a tendency to want to be in it and want to help the business get to the next level. I mean, there's no end in sight to where I want to go. And then someone in a mastermind I'm in posed a question to me. They said, hey, you seem like you're doing a lot of stuff, right? You're running a multi-million-dollar business. I have a few different businesses I run. Then you're trying to get rentals. You're trying to do all the creative deals, all this stuff. And they're like, how do you do it? And I said, dude, I feel like the most disorganized person on earth. I really do. And the thing is it's tough to do all of that stuff. Now, I would love to spend more time doing the social media stuff, and I will. But as you grow, it becomes harder. Now, the thing you are doing well is you're building a foundation for your business up front. Now, you're fine with growing a bit slower to build that foundation. Now, for me, I grew so fast, unintentionally. I grew so fast that I had to go back a year and a half into the business and start building the foundation. And that made it really hard. It's easier to build it and set yourself up for success the way you're doing it right now. Now, the thing I'm gonna say about the social media thing, don't rush. Don't rush it, because I have built a good name for myself out there because I have been genuine. I actually run a business every single day, and a business that has a proven model of success, has gone through failures, has gone through trials and tribulations. Now, there's a lot of people out there that feel like they have to jump into social media so quick. And when they do it, it's almost like people buy in because of the flashiness, because of some of those things, but don't be the person that tries to jump so fast into it that you forget to grow your business to the point that you can prove you have a reputable business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying don't do it. By all means, you've got a great business model, you really do, and you should be helping people get going. I admire that 100%. But just make sure as you do it, you don't lose the humbleness that you have. You don't all of a sudden shift into the flashy side, because I've seen it on so many people. I've had people in the past that have come to me for help, having a conversation just like you and I are. And we sit and talk about numbers, and then all of a sudden 6 months later, they say they've increased by $2 million on social media. They're doing hundreds of more deals than they were doing. They've got themselves a fancy car, and they're all of a sudden they got bling on their wrists. And I mean, this kind of stuff, that's the stuff to stay away from. And make sure that as you grow, you're honest about your business. And I don't know why this industry has so many people that want to do that. There's a lot of really legitimate people out there that have great businesses, and they offer great coaching and great advice. And Ryan Pineda is one of them. I don't know if you follow him. Right. Let me tell you, man, that guy is a genuine guy. I met Ryan. He's in a mastermind with me. I always respected him prior to the mastermind. We talked a little bit just about rentals and stuff and things like that. But he is one just genuine person to model yourself after. And if you're really looking, and Ryan's making killer money from social media and stuff like that. But Ryan also has a real estate listings. He's got wholesale deals. He's got rentals. He's doing seller finance. He's got his YouTube channel, his TikTok, his coaching dude, the guy's got so much going on. And he is someone that wants to just lift people up all around him. He's someone that wants to offer things to help people get to that next level. So I'm not going to list the names of the people to not, because you kind of want to look at some of those people to say, hey, what are these people doing? But I can't throw the names out there. I just can't do that. Maybe offline I could give you a couple, but as you're doing this, and if your goal is to grow the social media, and if your goal is to get the VA business really going where you can start offering that service to other people, then it is very important that you're going to go out and be humble. Now, I probably make less money on this type of stuff than a lot of other guys do. But I don't sit there and sell courses. I just don't do it. It's, I could build a course today and I could probably sell it. But what sets my course different from somebody else that's already offering it? I don't want to have regurgitated information. I want to have a solid thing to offer people. And that's the reason I haven't gone that route. I do this for fun. I don't do this because I want to make $10 million off it. Yeah, I mean, it would be great, but it's for me, it's if I can help somebody change their life from where they are at now, struggling, maybe they didn't have the best childhood, maybe they grew up poor, maybe they're still struggling, maybe they lost their job during COVID. How could I help those people get to the next level? And that to me is more important than anything. I've got money. I don't need to collect money from those people, right? I want those people to get to the next level. And that to me is so important. So if you keep that humble mentality, you're gonna go really far. I could tell already you're a good speaker. You've built a good business. So now it's time to figure out exactly where you want to go with it. So look at your social media and determine, what do you want to do? Is your goal to grow followers? Is your goal to grow your VA business? And decide which one is more important first, where you focus the majority of your time on. And then that creates your proven track record to be able to go out and do some of these other things you want to do.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, you put it all together, but it really does make sense. I'm just breaking down and identifying what's really important, and then what that looks like, and then work towards that. Because since there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of moving things, a lot of things that I'm doing, I can kind of get distracted and not understand which is the right route to take. So
100%, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can only, I tell everyone, right, how many hours in a week do you typically have? And, for an entrepreneur, it's 40 plus. Usually it's going to be 60. But you also have to consider, the more you grow, the more time it's going to take. And do you have a family or anything?
Right now, I'm single, but I have a girlfriend. Yeah.
Okay. So if you try to grow your business and all of a sudden you're working 100 plus hours a week, you may not have a girlfriend at that point. So that's the thing you've got to start considering, is because you're at the point where you're not settled down, married, kids, or anything like that, you have the ability to really put in that work and work more hours. But there is a certain point where you have to also enjoy life, because this might sound a bit morbid, but for me, I always look and say, hey, if something happened to me tomorrow, like, do I look back at my life and say, man, that was one hell of a ride? Or do I look back at my life and say, I worked a lot for the future, but I didn't spend the time enjoying the things that I really would have loved to do? And people always say, as you get older, create a bucket list. Fuck that. Create your bucket list now, and don't call it a bucket list, but create the list of things you want to do and get the hell out there and go do them. Don't say, I want to go to this, I want to go to Europe, and I'm going to do it when I'm 75 years old.
Absolutely.
What if we don't get there, right?
Yeah.
Do the stuff now. And there's a certain point in growing the business where the more you do, the more time you're going to put into it until you get employees in place. So make sure you don't try to grow so quick that you're not able just to go hop on a plane and head out. So set those goals. I know so many guys that focus just on business, right? So they say, okay, yeah, my goals for 2021, I'm going to hit 10 million. We're going to do this many deals. I'm going to hire this many employees. And I look at them and I just go, well, I didn't say business. I said, what are your 2021 goals? And you did the same thing, right? Everyone always jumps right to business.
Yeah.
And make sure that you're setting life goals as well. And rentals are one thing. Yeah, that does impact your life because it's residual income. But what is one thing you are going to do this year for fun that doesn't have to do with business that you already have planned?
I'm definitely going to travel more. I believe traveling and then just exploring the world just opens up my mind, and like really as a character of me and myself, I'm very limited to what I know and what is in front of me. So once I discover other places, it'll just give me more of a understanding of how people work, and just people, just meeting more people. So I think that's really the next one of my personal goals.
Do you have something already booked?
Um, Actually, in the next, I guess it's business and pleasure at the same time, because I'm actually going to the Philippines in the next 2 weeks.
All right.
Um, something that just really happened within the last month is that I work at the hospital. I work at Kaiser. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Kaiser. Um, I quit my job. I quit my job because I decided that I'm going to do real estate 100% full time, because imagine doing this and then I'm working full time at a job. That's, I mean, at that point, it's too insane. I'm getting too many phone calls during my shift. And at that point, I'm not focusing on my job and with the patients, and then I can't focus on my business. So I needed to understand how that works. But now I have my time. I'm actually, my parents are retired in the Philippines, so I'm actually gonna go over there and spend time with them and hang out with them, but also at the same time work with my cousins hand in hand in person.
Okay. And yeah, I mean that's fine to do. You can have business and personal all in one as long as you have some time personal. And
Uh,
you've got to make sure when you set your goals that you also set personal goals as well. Now that could be I'm going to read some books, right? It could be I'm going to go to Mexico. I'm going to go wherever the heck we can actually go right now. I don't know, right? I mean, I was just in Mexico. I had a great time. Nobody's there. The resort's empty. I mean, perfect time to travel in most cases. But those kind of things are very, very important. And some people just don't like to travel. So maybe theirs is something different. But make sure that you do not forget to set those goals. Now I'm going to put you on the spot, and I don't know if she's going to watch this or not, but is your girlfriend someone that's going to be around a long time? Is she going to go with you traveling? You don't have to answer it. You don't have to answer it, but think
No, no, no,
about it.
absolutely. She's definitely going to be around for a long time, because she's in an aspect of with my business scaling, she's actually getting a little bit more hands-on. We're actually opening up another market in Joshua Tree, California, and we're basically getting lots, and we're opening up Airbnbs and short-term rentals, like tiny houses and everything. So she's more of an aspect of talking with the sellers here directly. So definitely she sees it, and she wants to be a part of it. So and I envision the fact that we align our goals together, that she's definitely going to be part of the bigger picture.
So here's the question. If you guys both left for 7 days, Monday through Sunday, do you feel that you could turn your phone off for those 7 days and your team would get deals successfully, locking them up, and or closing deals you currently have in the pipeline with your phone off for 7 days, wherever you are?
Um, I I truly feel that we can. But the thing is, sometimes they need more direction. But if my team members, if they listen to this, and if you guys are able to do this, I mean, that's it. You know what I mean? If I can turn off my phone and you guys don't need to reach out to me, that'll be my dream come true. So I mean, that's the level of understand, like that's where I want to get at. I mean, 100%. I mean, turn it off for 30 days. You know what I mean? That really, as a business owner, you want to be disconnected, but you're like every day as an entrepreneur, you're working towards that model. You know what I mean? You want to automate it. You want to be outside of the business. As you spoke of before, like you don't want to be in your business. You want to be outside of it and operate it like with the proper team members that they're on their own. So absolutely, that's my goal, because seeing from the beginning for the last couple months, me and my girlfriend has been, these things have been brought up where I've been in like in Zoom meetings all day long. I mean, just expanding, networking with people, and then I mean, the time with just personal time has been kind of limited. So she definitely has brought in that up to me, and it's definitely an aspect where as like someone that has a lot of drive and really focus. I mean, you're just really in, like you're looking at one direction where I'm glad that you did bring that up, because life goals is important. And I mean, definitely with some of the books that I as you mentioned, like that you should be or that I have on my list. There's some of that are like life kind of understanding books. You know what I mean? It's not always about business. It's really, you have to be wholesome. I mean, as a fact that if you're just, I might be like a machine now, you know what I mean? Just like kind of just operating just like business, but in a way that we're all human beings. So definitely, I appreciate that insight. And then moving forward, I'll definitely make that part of my list to write down.
Mm-hmm. And you know, when I first did that, so the reason I ask about the girlfriend, right, is, you know, my wife was 100% in my business, well, our business, as we started out. And it did get tough, because when we go to leave on vacation, it's not like I'm just leaving, right? Two of us are leaving. We're losing 2 employees. And at that time, it was 50% of our staff. And it's like, all right, 50% of our staff is going to be gone for a week. And I've been like, you know, we've been like on a cruise, and I've been in the middle of the ocean talking on my phone, trying to help close a deal. And part of me looks and I say, okay, I got to figure out how this doesn't happen. Now, us as entrepreneurs, you're always going to want, the way I say it, and I promise you'll agree with this, if it is going to cost me money, you call me. That's how I feel, right? And what I did to my team is I said, hey, I'm leaving for a week. I want you to call me if it's an emergency or if it is going to cost me money. And not like you're writing a check. Like, are we going to lose a $50,000 wholesale spread because you don't have my answer? Then you better call me 10 times in a row, right? So I challenged my team and I said, hey, I'm leaving for 7 days. Now, if you guys can successfully lock up a deal, just one, lock up one deal, and have it successfully assigned to a buyer before my plane lands back here in California, I will buy you guys all a steak dinner. But we must have the earnest money deposit in escrow and escrow opened. And if you successfully did that, then I will buy you all steak. And dude, it was, I think day 4 I was gone, and I got a phone call. I'm out there. I'm like, oh God, what's going on? The whole team on the line. We did it. We accomplished the goal. And they actually did 3 that week. So here's the thing. You have to stress test your team. So my challenge to you, and so what's going to happen, Cody's going to schedule a follow-up with you in 6 months. And we're going to hop back on here and we're going to talk. And I'm going to ask you if you did this. So I want you to schedule, make it 3-4 days where you're away and away from business. You and your girlfriend leave. Have your phone on. Don't turn it off, because you're not really to that point yet. But maybe you guys even go to Vegas. It doesn't matter, right? Just go somewhere and make a goal for your team, just like I did. Now, ask your team to write down challenges they encounter that they don't feel like they know the answer to, that come up while you're gone. And then when you get back, review those challenges, because now you're going to start determining what is it my team needs that I didn't train them on, that I need to focus on. And try to take a little bit of that time and stress test your team. Now, on your VA side of things, this is going to help your VA side of the business as well, because when you go to offer those services, whether that be 6 months, a year, or 2 years down the road, you're going to be able to say to other investors that are looking at doing your services, you're going to be able to say, hey, I have stress tested these VAs to make sure they could go through the process of a deal. I've stress tested them. And we overcame those issues and were able to fix them. So this VA is going to do great in your business because they know how to overcome obstacles. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
So your challenge is to go away for a few days, tell your team emergencies, they call you. If you're going to lose money, they call you. But you want them to lock up a deal successfully. Now, maybe on yours, you don't have the assignment side because you're looking more for the rentals, but maybe you have some type of outcome on the rental side that they have to do before you get back.
Got it.
You going to accept that challenge?
I'll definitely accept that challenge. Definitely.
Okay. Now we're going to get back on here in 6 months and I'm going to call your ass out if you didn't do that.
I'll work hard. I'll work hard, Scott. So I'll make sure, hopefully, I mean, within the 6 months, I mean, I'll report back and I mean, I'll make it work. I'll make it happen. Yeah.
And try to limit the business during that time. So because you're working together with your girlfriend now, you will eventually encounter where you find that you guys talk work a lot. So if it's not already happening. So you'll find that. So challenge number 2, you take time aside to make sure that you guys are not talking work. Because it's very easy to shift into that. My wife and I did it. And it was pretty soon we're sitting down at dinner every night and it's like everything was work. And we're like, well, wait a second. Wow, we still have a life outside of work. So make sure it doesn't shift to that. I know we got off topic, but that's my warning to you is, working with somebody that you also are with, it makes it tough because you do spend a lot of time talking about work. But on the other side, man, continue to document this stuff for social media. You go on that vacation, document that because when your team accomplishes that goal, blast that out there. I'm so proud of my team. They did these things and I stepped away and I know my business can run without me. That is a good feeling. So.
Thanks, Scott. I mean, I appreciate all your time and I appreciate all your advice and I'll definitely move forward and really, what I gathered from this was that aside from really building the business, obviously that's a very important aspect is to really don't forget about yourself. You know what I mean? And understand that like it's growing a business is not as important as like if you really have the right people around you and then really understand how everything works. I mean, just happiness, like your basic understanding of what happiness is about and just, So Scott, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Is there anything else that is burning right now that you want to discuss or?
I mean, not at all. I mean, I'll tell you the truth. I just wanted to like, let people know that, I mean, anyone can do this. Anyone that like wants to really put in time and effort learning about investing or even real estate, wholesaling. I mean, in reality, I thought I had no potential, like, and just spending some time learning on YouTube and meeting people, talking to people and networking, that's all this takes. You know what I mean? And if you talk to as much people and get all the information to really understand how things work, you'll feel confident to moving the next steps. I mean, in any case, I've tripped and fell so many times. I mean, I'm sure that to get to your level, I mean, you've done so many different things to your business, making sure that things work. But in any case, it's definitely great to just talk to people, advise them on growing, like doing, having a passive income and honestly retire, like not actually retiring, but actually having more time to yourself. I think that's generally what I'm trying to accomplish, is to get more time for myself and for it to be shared with my family and friends and just really my loved ones.
See, what you just said, in my opinion, is a true entrepreneur, because I always ask people that question about, what's your end goal? You want to retire? I mean, I say, man, it would be nice just to retire. But then I, like, literally 1 second later, I go, yeah, but I'm never going to retire. I mean, I want to have something that's still running that I can check in on, and I'd be bored. I'd go out of my mind if I was just sitting at home. And there's some coaches out there that always preach that build your business to leave. And I'm like, well, I don't agree. I mean, if you're building your business to leave, do something else. Like, what are you doing? I'm someone that wants to grow, and I want people running my business. I want somebody in the CEO role at one point, and I want to have, you know, a weekly or bi-weekly check-in, something like that, where we just talk about 10 minutes. What's the main things that are going on that I need to help with, or something like that. But give me the numbers. That's all I need to know. And that to me is a goal, but I'm never going to stop growing things. I'm never going to stop taking risks, because that's what I love to do. If I lose it, I'll start again. I mean, that's where we're at. So keep it up. You're doing a good job. And I see you going far.
I appreciate it, Scott. I mean, like, just kind of seeing a lot of people on social media, understanding how people like, I mean, you have to just know who you're following. And Ryan Pineda is definitely one of the people that I've been following for a long time. He definitely gives a lot of value to his followers, and that's what I want to do. Like, really, in reality, just give value to people. I mean, mainly right now, whoever's following me, I'm teaching them about out-of-state investing, and understanding that you can start with like little money down. So it's inspiring other people, you know, inspiring people to actually take the next step or take action to understand how it works, because I think that's important as well. But yeah, Scott, thank you. I really appreciate your time. I'm sure that you're super busy. I can't even believe that I'm actually here. So it's pretty cool.
Happy to have you, man. These podcasts seem to help people a lot. You know, I could very easily go and interview another big guy out there doing things, but I mean, the thing is, everyone always interviews each other, and it just didn't make sense to me. I said, you know, the thing is, a lot of the things we're talking about right now are the things that people that are going to watch this struggle with. And I don't need someone talking about how many Lambos they have. I need someone talking about how they've gotten to where they are and what their goals are. Because honestly, we're just average people, man. That's all we are. And I don't want someone to think that you or I are better than them, and we had some advantage to be able to get ourselves to the level we're at. It was hard work, man. It was really hard work. And as you grow, it continues to be hard work. And like you said, you're going to hit failures. You're going to hit challenges. But the difference is, as we hit those failures and challenges, we push through them. And if it's a brick wall, we bulldoze that shit. So we need to get everyone with that mentality, that these are the network connections you need to make to be able to get yourself to that next level. And don't hit a roadblock and stop, because I'm not going to say if you hit a roadblock, I'm going to say when you hit a roadblock. Because it will happen. And then the roadblocks get worse and worse and worse. And the mistakes cost more and more and more. And you know, you make a mistake now, it might cost $1,000. You make a mistake 10 years from now, it might cost $100,000. So that's where we have to learn trial and error. How do you identify a problem and then look at how you've solved some type of similar problem in the past to get you through that? And so many people, just a problem happens and they freeze. And they're like, how do I do this? Well, you have to look back and say, okay, all right, does the problem involve title or escrow? Okay, yes. All right, so you had a problem back then with these people. How did you work through this problem? Does it have a similarity to the problem you're trying to work through now? Because there is no problem that is not solvable one way or the other. Now, you may not make as much as you want once you solve the problem, but bottom line, this whole business is about problem solving. People come to us because they have an issue and we need to fix it. And we have dealt with some weird things, but we've gotten through the majority of them. Some might take 2 years, but it is what it is. We're gonna work through it. So, all right, everyone, I hope this helped you out. Mark, thank you for joining us. It has been awesome. Little different podcast than we're used to because you're definitely trying to go towards that social media side, the VA side of things. And honestly, man, I wish you the best of luck. I hope this helped everybody out. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to my channel. That way you guys can be notified when gold like this comes out. We'll talk to y'all later.